crazy things happening in the Mariana Islands from all sides. A magnitude 5.5 earthquake hits them while the strongest typhoon makes landfall. Storm surges, wind, rain, devastation, piled up stuff and cars is happening. Is there a connection? It just made a devastating landfall, the biggest storm on the planet, the biggest monster on Earth right now. That's what they call it. And this is no longer a forecast, unfortunately. This is what I'm reporting right now is impact, guys. The strongest storm on Earth just made landfall. And what's happening right now in the Mariana Islands is extreme. Really extreme. We're talking about reports coming in of cars on top of each other piled up. Super Typhoon Sinlaku slammed directly as forecasted, unfortunately, into the islands of Saipan and Tinian, with winds extreme, gusting up to 145 to 175 miles per hour. That is strong enough to rip roofs clean off of buildings and even more. And that's exactly what we're seeing right now. Entire neighborhoods are being torn apart, metal roofs peeled back like paper, and homes flooding, streets flooding, infrastructure collapsing under the pressure of this storm front. One resident described the moment when the storm was hitting, and he said the rain was coming through the walls, even inside concrete homes. That tells you a lot. Think about that, concrete homes, and the storm is still getting in. Another resident described it's like cars being stacked on top of each other and then moved by the wind. So that's not a storm that we're talking about. That is really raw force. And unfortunately, it did as predicted. In some way, it's good that it was predicted because they had a warning, right? But if you're on an island, what can you do? Yeah, and they said if you have a wood home, if you have metal roofs, get out, get to shelter, right? They said concrete homes might do better. And let's talk about Guam, important military island for the US. They avoided a direct hit, that also as predicted, but it is still being hit with a lot of flash flooding, strong winds, storm surges, and dangerous winds right now. And we're talking about over 170,000 people on Guam alone that are affected, and they are dealing with this storm typhoon system as it is moving through. And across the region, we have also more than 50,000 US residents that took shelter and are hopefully safe as this storm is coming in and has made landfall now. But here's the part that is very, very important to realize for many, many people. This storm did not just slowly build. It basically has exploded in strength. So Sinlaku went from a weak system to one of the most powerful storms on Earth, the most powerful storm on Earth right now in only, that's what's mind-blowing, in only 30 hours. So we call that rapid intensification. 30 hours, that's nothing, right? And this is one of the most dangerous behaviors any storm can have because it accelerates so fast, right? It gives people almost no time to react. So then it goes in line with a sudden earthquake, right? Or a volcanic eruption or whatever. So right now, the conditions are extremely dangerous. We have to say that. We're talking about torrential rainfall, flash flooding, storm surge along the coast, wide-ranged power outages, and the officials are giving us a dire warning. They say the damage could last for days, even weeks. So that is really traumatizing, terrifying, catastrophic, because what that means for this area, this chain of islands, it means entire areas could be cut off. No power, no water, limited access. That is very, very scary. And all of this is happening early in the season, in the storm season. So that's kind of what makes it even more concerning, right? Storms like this and this intensity this early can be a signal of what is coming next. Maybe what the other storms will be like, right? And now they're already so devastated, so much damage. So warmer oceans are feeding these systems. They're giving them the energy to become these monsters fast. Monster is bad enough, but monster plus fast, that's the overkill. So right now, the situation is the following. The worst damage is centered around the islands of Saipan, Tinian, and parts of the northern Mariana Islands. But not only the storm surge, look at this, an earthquake, magnitude 5.5. So while they're being hit from above, from the ocean, from the sides, also the earth is shaking. Did they feel this shaking? Well, it's the question. If your house is already shaking from all this, maybe you don't really feel that shaking. So I'm getting to the earthquake, what has caused this earthquake in a minute. I want to talk about Guam again because Guam is still being impacted and the conditions remain also very dangerous there. We see right now emergency crews are deploying, federal assistance is being activated, but for many people, this, we have to be clear about this, is still unfolding in real time. And now let's get to the earthquake. So that earthquake, we're looking at a very active, very specific tectonic setup in this area. So this earthquake, unfortunately, it's not random at all. So the earthquake is coming from the Mariana Trench subduction zone where the Pacific plate is diving underneath the Philippine Sea plate, Pacific Ring of Fire. If we have subduction zones, never good. They're always good for big shizzy. Shizzy's hitting the fizzy for these islands right now. So what is actually happening underground? This is one of the most extreme subduction zones on Earth. The Pacific plate is basically moving westwards and it's being forced downwards. It's subducting beneath the Philippine Sea plate. This, of course, creates these deep trenches like the Mariana Trench, volcanic chains, Mariana Arc, frequent earthquakes. So why did this magnitude 5.5 earthquake happen? We have three likely mechanisms here. We have interface stress in a megathrust zone. Plates are locked, then poof, they suddenly slip. Causes moderate to large earthquakes. So the 5.5 could be a release of built up stress. Of course, in this subduction zone, we have the slab bending, slab tearing. Pacific plate is bending downward, it cracks internally while that process is happening. So these are called intraslab earthquakes. They're very common in the Mariana region. We could have a back arc extension. This is the key here. The Mariana system is actually pulling apart behind the trench. It's pulling apart. I just talked about the Juan de Fuca Ridge. Well, we might see the birth of a new volcano. I'll put that video on the end screen off the west coast of the state of Washington in the US. But Mariana system pulling apart behind the trench means this creates normal faults and additional earthquakes. So this region is not just compressing, it's stretching and subducting at the same time. And why is this area so active? It's one of the fastest subduction rates on Earth. So it's an extremely deep trench, roughly 11 kilometers, 36,000 feet. And we have a constant plate deformation and rollback. So this means earthquakes here are normal, but patterns matter. So guys, I know this question will come up, so I'll answer it now. Is this related to the typhoon? No direct course, but here's the nuance. Typhoons can slightly change surface pressure. That can trigger very, very small adjustments, right? But a magnitude 5.5, I want to make that clear, that is driven by tectonics. It's not weather driven. Really, it's not. So this quake happening along the Mariana subduction zone, we will see if there's going to be more. But this quake alone is not alarming right now. But if we're seeing multiple magnitude 5 plus in one sequence, if we see a migration along the trends, if we see increasing depth changes, then we might go into the state of this is somewhat alarming. These could be pre-shocks for something bigger. Regarding the storm system, regarding the typhoon, let's end this video with this perspective. I have to say, storms like this, they don't just pass and disappear. So it's not over yet just because it has made landfall. They leave behind a trail of devastation, destroyed homes, flooded communities, people trying to rebuild from nothing. But this, I have to make it clear, it's still developing, and I'll keep you informed as new information's coming in. So if you're in the region, please stay safe. Be still careful for the next few days and even weeks maybe. So thanks for watching. If you want to support the channel, link is in the description. Fill me up with coffee. Thanks for your supers. Thanks for clicking the join button and become a supporting member of the channel, and you get behind the scene videos for that of my private life. So thanks everyone for liking, hyping, and supporting this channel. You guys are absolutely awesome, and you are the core of this channel. All this wouldn't be possible without you. So thank you from the bottom of my heart, and check out what's going in Nevada, what's going on there, because this is not an isolated earthquake. It's an earthquake swarm. We're reaching 130 earthquakes, and this is in the dangerous Walker lane. I made a video about this. The Walker lane will tear Nevada apart. It will be oceanfront one day. If you don't believe it, first watch what's going on there right now. Homes were shaking, stuff was falling, cracking. They really felt it up to California, Lake Tahoe. I see you there, and then from there, you can go to the next one about the Walker lane. Thank you so much, guys.